Dámy a pánové, vítám vás u další epizody ke hře Starfield. A jsme zpátky na Marsu, kde musíme tady pokecat s cápkem, protože jsme pro doktorka donesl mu nějaký drápek potvůrky, udělal výzkum a zjistil, že není falešnej, což je velký průšvih. Takže jo, půjdeme do výtahu, my se svezeme s vámi, děkuji. Patro P2. Tak a s tebou máme pokecat. Jak je za neprázdňák? Jo, vy se musíte, já vám uhnu.
You're no hassling yourself anymore, Major. Our friend here showed me your sample. Suffice it to say.
Not here. Let's talk somewhere more private. Lou said we could use the back.
OK. Co oni to tady dolujou vůbec? Hoši, v tom nic není, ty vole. No, nevadí, ať si trénují. Tak, počkej, jdeme pokecat.
Lou gave
Tak,
me the
čusík.
abridged version of what went down. Yeah, I can't thank you enough for taking care of all that.
Makes two of us.
I hope it ultimately didn't end up being too much trouble.
Trochu víc střelby, než mám obvykle rád.
Well, that's certainly not what I was expecting you'd have to go through. But thank you. I'm just glad you both came through intact.
Jo, poda.
Were you two able to get that workup together?
Got it right here. That sample? It's an exact match for the ones from Londinian.
Londinian. That's exactly what I was afraid of.
Not thrilled to be the bearer of that kind of news. That's for damn sure. So tell me you've got some kind of plan for that workup.
Well, right now, we've got more questions than answers. So I've been trying to figure out what it's gonna take to access our old terramorph data.
Good place to start. What'd you find?
It's in the archives.
The Armistice Archives? Doesn't that mean we'd be dealing with the cabinet? And the Freestar Collective? And House Faroon somehow? Guess we can kiss that approach goodbye.
I didn't think the cabinet would be willing to hear us out either. But I called in some favors. They've agreed to hear us out on two conditions. One, they want to see this analysis you two have procured. And two, they want to discuss what happened on Tau Ceti. With both of us.
OK, hele, to obě ty podmínky můžeme splnit.
Well, that's about the best news I've had all day. But before you commit, I want to make sure you know the whole story. Percival and I, we're not just researchers. We were military scientists, ran a division of the UC together that deployed aliens on the battlefield as weapons.
Place I was hiding out. That was our unit's home base.
After some early fits and starts at other facilities, the place eventually became the heart of UC xeno-warfare. A practice that's been banned ever since the armistice went into effect almost 20 years ago. And the UC military cut us loose for what we'd done.
Vlastně vím, kdo jsi a tvoje minulost, no do té mi nic není. OK. OK, hele.
Oh, well, that means a lot. It's not something I'm exactly proud of. But it was during that assignment that the UC asked us to explore deploying terramorphs on the battlefield. The project never got off the ground, but the data our team gathered is now sitting in the archives, along with all the other information banned after the Colony War. Under the watchful eye of monitors from all the galactic factions still participating in regular politics. But if we can convince the cabinet to help us access that data, it'll give us the tools we need to decipher what exactly this sample might mean. And hopefully, how to prevent more attacks like the one that spawned it.
Jo, to by bylo fajn, ale já mám jednu zásadní otázku. Proč máš tak velkou karabinu? Celou dobu na ní čumím, vůbec tě neposlouchám. já jsem na první okamžitě s tímhle karabinou, ne, tyhle. Dobře, no půjdeme s nima pokecat.
I'm gonna go get this workup into the cabinet's hands. I'll meet you out front of Mast in New Atlantis.
Good luck. You two are gonna need it.
Jasně. Tady. Konečně. 18. level. Což je fajn. Protože já tady mám trošku, do čeho bych to chtěl dát. No. Užitečné zatížení by bylo fajn, zvětší kapacitu lodi, to je sice hezký. Pilotování. Si myslím, když ji zvýším na 2, že by mi to mělo odemknout. Proč nemůžu? Nevím. A konstrukce, tam potřebuji nainstalovat ještě 5 unikátních lodních modulů. Což na to se vrhnu nějak za kamerou, to jenom je sundám z lodi, znova nandám a snad to bude na pohodičku, ať si odemkneme 3. úroveň, jak můžeme úplně bez věci dávat. Takže já si ten jeden bodík pošetřím. Pak v nějaký epizodce se podíváme zase trošku na stavbu lodi. Protože mám už trošku v hlavě takovou představu, jakou bych chtěl postavit, nebo spíš jak by mohla vypadat. Ježišmarja, tady vlastně je menší gravitace. Nebo jak ta loď by mohla aspoň vypadat. Skoro když teď máme nějaký nový moduly a tak, takže trošku by se dala upravit i vizuálně. Protože jako co si budem, ta naše loď není zrovna krasavice, ale funguje. Jo, protože když se na tohleto podíváš, jako největší koča v galaxii to není, ale svou úlohu plní celkem dobře, takže tak. Ale i tak bych ji chtěl trošku vytunit. Tak nasedáme hned kokpit. No. Hele, kam my teda potřebujeme letět? My potřebujeme do Alpha Centauri. Jasně. Na hlavní planetu. OK, a tady... OK, hele, rovnou se tam portnem, ať nemusíme celou cestu letět zpátky. Ta loď vypadá dobře, tato. Fakt pěkně. Líbí se mi ty lodě. Takovej kufírek.
Captain, over here.
Jo, nazdar.
The workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it. But listen,
Okay.
I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier. So, in the interest of full disclosure,
Pohodě, tím se netráp.
there's one more thing you ought
Měli
to
jsme
know
jiný
before we-
záležitosti.
My relationship with the UC. It's more complicated than it might seem at first glance. The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place. I am a clone
Aha.
of a man named Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War, former head of the UC Navy. They called him Ve Victus. Woe to the defeated, in Old Earth Latin. A title he earned. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most respected tacticians. Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come.
OK. Tak to jsem nečekal teda.
A non-trivial amount of gene editing. Clone, honestly, isn't even really the right term for our relationship, thanks to the amount of donor material that was required to bring me into this world. He and I are different on more than a few levels, but there's no denying the fact we're inextricably linked.
OK. Dobře,
I'm
dobře.
getting there. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man caused a lot of death on both sides. Freestar Collective and UC. Military and civilians. And the things he did, well, They're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be forewarned.
Okay. Ty nejsi tvůj
I
otec.
really appreciate you saying that. I just thought you deserved to know, considering how much you've done already. You know, while we've got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? I know you got dropped into the middle of this pretty fast. Or if you've got any last-minute business to attend to, now might be a good time. No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep us waiting out here.
No. Ale asi nemám žádné otázky.
Sounds like our cue.
Jo.
Here we go.
Je to přesně pro nás. Tak pojď. Ne, klidně se loudej. V pohodě. Hele, ty schody jsou dřeví. Jo, takhle jsou kamenný a hezký, to se mi líbí. Tak. Kabinet komnaty. Počkej, jak tam jdeme vyjednávat? Dobrý den. Dobrý den.
Ah, welcome. You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report.
Jo.
You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing this information.
Pohodě. Jen plním rozkazy.
I'll be sure your commanding officer hears that you've done them satisfactorily.
Uspokojivě.
We have two petitioners here making a surprising request. Access to the UC Xeno Warfare Team's TERORRMORFÜ data, currently housed in the Armistice archives. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all three Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor.
No. Jasně. Se mi líbí. Já bych řekl, že tohle.
Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, terrormorph attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon. They've been happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at
Ježiš,
best
my se tady budeme politicky
and at worst,
hádat.
a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger and her associates.
I would remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium. I would also ask how many deaths the cabinet requires to act. 50? 50,000? Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we? And while there should be no doubt the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties, Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this terrormorph seem at all alarming to you?
Jestli mi připadal znepokojivý, ty vole, viděla jsi ho někdy? Jo, byl znepokojivý. Přesně.
That is worth considering. This attack took place on an almost completely uninhabited world. The casualties were minimal as a result. But if there's another attack, will we be so lucky?
Přesně.
Yes, a fine point, Admiral. So then, Captain, Given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
Já bych řekl, že asi jo, ne? Já bych žádosti vyhověl.
I'm uncomfortable opening the archives without gathering more information. However, if that's the path forward you prefer, then so be it.
I'm inclined to agree.
As am I.
I suppose that does get to the heart of the point, doesn't it? Very well. I consent. The galaxy was lucky you were here today, Captain.
A ještě mi
You and
poděkujete.
I are in agreement, Chief Diplomat. So, if there are no other objections, I believe we can agree to give our full backing to make the request to... What was that?
To byl divný zvuk, přesně.
We should have a talk when you have the archives.
To nevypadá dobře.
Incident. Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport.
Terorrmorfové.
Terrormorphs. More attacks.
No vole, kdybyste tak dlouho nežvatlali.
Good God. There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
Well then,
Okay.
we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming and that you've dealt with these things before.
Okay, rozkaz.
Go show them how it's done.
We're on it, ma'am. Captain, I'm right behind you. Let's get down there.
Dobře, jdeme dolů. Jdem. Hoši, vy to hlídejte dole, my teda nahoře, my se jdeme podívat dolů. Doufám, že ta holka sebou má pořádný kanón. Protože já je viděl a jsou to velký naštvaný brouci. Co jim je? Hej.
What are you doing? EM fire, Captain!
Got another one!
Okay, palba. Já nevím, chci zabíjet? Nechci, ne? Tak, asi jo. Lidi, co to s váma je? Sakra. Ty jsi v pohodě? Co jsem to sebral za zbraň vůbec? Plně automatická. Dobře, hele. Tu bych si mohl vybavit. Já mám tu obyčejnou, tu jednoranku. Tak jo, jdeme. Nevím přesně kam. Do kosmodromu, že jo? Tohle. Bedínka. A proč mě to nikam nepustí? Kudy mám jít? Aha, ten se už zase zpamatoval. Co to s vámi je? Jsou nějak nakažený, ne? Nějakým hnusem. Že tu máme jednoho. OK.
Thank God you got here when you did.
No, co se dá dělat?
I just wish it hadn't come to that.
Yeah, what the hell happened back there, Captain? There's no excuse for using lethal force here. Or you could have used the EM gun like you were ordered. These are lives you're playing with here. So get your head in the game. Understand? Now,
Rozumím.
officer,
Příště se
the way
polepším.
those people were acting. I've seen this before. They were under the Terrormorph's influence, weren't they?
I don't know. They were down at the port and they just started screaming. We tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them out of harm's way, but some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just started firing on us. People we knew.
Okay.
They went berserk.
Pheromonic projection. Some Terrormorphs, they can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently. Some people just lose control, turn against everyone around them, even if they don't want to. They're like a puppet. You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire. And keep that EM weapon at the ready.
Jo, dobře.
Let's do it.
Tak já si vemu tu
That's unlocked.
EMP zbraň.
Please, do what you can to help them.
No, fajn. Mám nějakou u sebe. Tenhle ten. A to teda dává... Dobře. To teda vemu, no. Hned jak mě sjezdila, ne? Jako, tak stane se, oni na mě útočili, já jsem se bránil, to bylo v sebeobraně. Teda až na to, co jsem ho střelil do zadku. Víš co, kde je vyšpulíno? Znáš to. Dobrý den. Jo, mám tu pušku vytaženou. Jdem. Já jdu trošku rychleji než vy. O ty vole, tak ten nevypadá jako... Aha, hele, nabíhá mu to. Jo, tak tomu říkám hodně blbej den, no. A sakra. Nabí. Dobrý, leží. To znamená... Teď ono mu nic neberem. A sakra. Nice. Zase křičí. Au, ty vole. Dobrý, zase dada. Mám z toho rozmožený vidění. Dobrý. Umřel. Cizí genetickým sedativům. OK. Tak tohle to mě maličko bolelo. Jak je zaneprázdně? Konečně si to použila, viď?
Fire team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more. Put those things down and do it fast. We'll hold them as best we can.
Okay.
Heard you might be looking for some backup. You say the word, we're out there on your 6.
You two have any experience with Terrormorphs before?
Only the brief they just gave on the way here. But we know how to handle pressure.
Surviving a full-on mental assault isn't the same as keeping your cool in a firefight. Might make you more liability than asset.
We're not UC security. You don't need to worry about us.
Jo, takhle. Hele, chci mít v zádech nějaký pořádný těžkoděnce. Tak jo, hoši, jdeme. Já jdu napřed. Sakra, snad mi nezničili. Ne, dobrý, hele. Moje je tamhle bez škrábnutí. Jo, tady máme jednoho fešáčka. Takže, kamo. Au, ty vole. Tak tohle to bolelo víc, než jsem čekal. Hele, trošku ho uspíme. Sakra, jsem z toho celý špatnej. Au. Tak šel k zemi. mu to vůbec nic nedělá, použijeme laserové zbraně. Aha, mu to nic nedělá. Asi jsem mu střelil do ksichtu. Nice. Hohoho. Dobré. Ona má rotačák a tady ty taky. Ty, štve mě trošku ten rozmazaný pohled, jak na to máme. Tak jo, jdeme na dalšího, Nabím. On je fajn ho trošku omámit a on potom lehne. Je víc krotkej. OK, ale u něj jsou barely. Bum. Aha, tak to se ti nelíbilo, viď? Au. Kámo, proč do něj jdeš pěstma, ty vole? Nabím. Au. Nezabiju nikoho. Au. Jako pěkně je dokáže ovládat, neříkám nic. Wow, ty vole, tato brokna je úplně boží. Mám rozmazaný vidění z toho. Prostě v hlavě slyšíme prostě obrať se, zabíjet, ty vole, takovýhle hovna. Není fajn. Kámo, vyčištěný.
Yes, they weren't kidding about you two. Universe put the right
Přesně.
people in the right place. Certainly doesn't feel like it.
Kámo, díky vám se nedostali dál.
Just glad we could rise to the occasion. Captain, we should report back to the President. Let her know the terrormorphs have been dealt with. Take care of yourself, Sergeant.
Jo. Tak my to jdeme nahlásit šéfíčkům. Jako jo, ty první, já jsem si nevšiml, že mám kropitou pistolí, no. Abych je nezabil, ale jenom omráčel. To byla moje chyba. Teda jejich, ale no. Nebudu na sebe tak přísnej. Tady už někdo odklidil mrtvolky, což je fajn. Tak nahoru, prosím. Klidně se zastav už. Jo.
That's a relief to hear. Thank you, gentlemen. Let your people all know how much we owe them today.
Yes, ma'am.
Captain?
Ale.
Adrian? It would appear that the cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city today. As well as an apology. Your concerns about the terrormorphs, well, consider them validated.
Thank you, ma'am.
Souhlasím, děkuji.
Of course. I only wish we could have acted sooner. Now, today's events have only clarified our path forward in the eyes of the cabinet. You will have our full support in collecting the terrormorph data from the archives, as well as a subsequent investigation into the nature of these attacks. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right people in the right places. As such, the cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective immediately, to your former rank of Major. As soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks and how to stop them. Will you do this?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I'd be honored.
Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed, first, we're going to need someone to convince the Freestar Collective and House Varun to play ball. Someone who knows precisely the sorts of dangers the colonies and all the galaxy
Ale to asi budu
are
já,
facing
co?
right now. The cabinet wants you, Captain, to be that representative.
Okay.
We do. In exchange, we're willing to fast-track your citizenship upon collection of the data. So, will you help us?
To ví, že vám pomůžu. Jako tady tyhle ty potvoráci nechci, aby nám běhali po městech.
Without the proper support. Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your guide on gaining access to the archives. You should be able to find her in her office across the hall. And on behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our thanks. You're dismissed.
Wow, 300 páďů jsme za to dostali. Díky, prezidentko. Takže jo, kam já musím? Pokud se tamhle, zadní kanclíček.
A Vanguard captain. You... Yes, sir. I'll make sure they get what they require.
Tak už jsi dokecala? Jsme tady asi moc brzo, viď? Co tu máš? Takovou pěknou kytku. Tak.
That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second in command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. You have my gratitude. I was also informed that you gave quite the presentation to the cabinet. Chief Yassine wants you to know the Interstellar Affairs Office is fully committed to this endeavor, accessing the TERORRMORFÜ data and beyond. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure you have the tools you need. And that means first getting you into the archives. You do know what the archives are, correct?
Jasně, že vím.
Someone paid attention in current events. So, then you also know that it was originally managed by the 3 major galactic players.
Taky vím.
Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency, and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Faroon. Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people. The ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Faroon to hand over their codes. Get them both and you'll have your data. But that's a lot easier said than done.
No.
Very funny. This is going to be hard enough already. Both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't, work with us. Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate.
And I do mean cooperate. Threats and violence are off the table here. Though that doesn't mean we can't get creative.
Já budu
kreativní. But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with. Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar or Ambassador Balmore of House Faroon?
Hele, začni třeba s tím s Freestarem.
Good Ambassador Radcliffe. She's a veteran of the Colony War, and her only goal in life is to make ours miserable. Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate with her.
Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing to convince her to lend her support.
And who knows? Maybe that'll work. Stranger things have happened. But my suspicion is we're going to have to rely on other tools to get her code.
Okay.
Certainly. See, good diplomacy is all about the careful application of pressure. We just need to find the squeeze.
UC Intelligence has a recording
Neboj, najdu ten správný tlak.
Ambassador's living quarters, which we suspect you can use to your advantage.
But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself in an embassy holding cell.
So, if you are going to try and access the device, you're going to need to find a way in there without being seen.
No, we recovered some intel we believe should be able to help with that. But there's also a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for information. Maybe even convince to work with you.
Dobře.
All right. Here, your diplomatic ID. I'll give them a heads up, you're on your way. Not likely to let you through the door otherwise. And take these. Chief Yassine wanted you to have some options on how to proceed in there.
9600. No. Pověz mi něco o tom druhém velvyslanci.
A challenge. When the rest of House Va'ruun retreated into seclusion shortly after the signing of the armistice, Balmor stayed here. He's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests, so there's real hope he might again. Though claiming to know how a member of House Va'ruun thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych eval. It does, but there's a concern. We're not 100% sure Balmor is actually still alive. His public appearances were always rare, but it's been several years now since he last poked his head out. Scans of the facility show life signs, but not the kind we were expecting. Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind him of his duties under the armistice.
Bude někde v Kádi, ne?
I have no doubt. Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should allow you access. Here, this device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. Once you're inside, though, finding the ambassador is going to be up to you. And fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks.
Automatické nějaký věžičky tam budou.
Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for a new approach we haven't already discussed, don't hesitate to ask. I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Approach her while the attack is still fresh in her and her staff's mind. Be smart out there, Captain.
Neboj se. Neboj se, tohle to zvládnu. Já si myslím, že on bude naložený v nějaký kádi nebo něco. Jak Darth Vader. Tak, to znamená tohle to udělat, ale já bych tady měl mít ještě jeden questíček, který... Jo, kódy, anebo tady ty hluboké utajení, to bych taky chtěl udělat, ale asi to vezmeme jedno po druhým. Já mám ten jeden pointík, což my bychom se mohli jít podívat. Počkej. Jasně. Ale já nejprve chci udělat jednu věc. Jo, já nemůžu... Ježiš, já jsem ve skoku, tak se nemůžu hejbat. Tak. Tam já určitě půjdu, ale mě teď zajímá jedna věc, protože já se vrátím zpátky k lodi. Tím, že máme ten jeden pointík. Já vám chci ukázat, proč jsem odložil to vybaveníčko, nebo ten jeden point. Vypadneme z lodi. Jo, jdeme tady k cápečkovi. Jo, ty už tady chillujou na pohodičku, jako kdyby se nic nestalo. Hele, ukaž mi loď. Protože ono, když si tady přidáte nějaký věc, tak tady máme vlastně konstrukce hvězdných lodí. Jo, to je docela v pohodě. Jenže, pak tady máme různý motory a to už potřebuje vyšší. A do toho já potřebuji dát ten jeden další bod, což navíc tady ta palivová nádrž vypadá skvěle. Tady mám další motory, ty taky už můžem, jo, konstrukce hvězdných lodí. Ale chci to dostat co nejvýš, protože jsou tady občas nějaký věci, které potřebují zase jiný srandy. A já si myslím, že mě to neukáže tady na té planetě. Zbraně. Konstrukce hvězdných lodí, jasně. Struktury tam nic moc není. Ve štítech máme nějaký srandy. Tady ten Vanguard štít jako 40 000. Ale už to je třída Bčko. Takže to bych chtěl taky přijat. A hele, tady máme Ačko. 450. No, jako, ty vole, jako tohle to je mega štít. Pilotování. Tady máme to pilotování, což mě taky docela zajímá, protože jako generátor, tady už máme odemčený Bčkový, což je určitě fajn, 14, 18, tady ten je nejsilnější, 18, jo? Ale Ačkový můžeme 20, takže to je taky k zamyšlení. Cčko 18, Cčko 20. Jako to bych mega chtěl, takže asi půjdeme do pilotování. No a tady máme nějaký huby, ale ono na té mý basece je lepší na to koukat. Na té zamce, nebo jak se to jmenuje, prostě tam jak těžíme to železo. Protože tam mám kompletně všechny moduly, tady je to docela omezený. Takže do toho určitě půjdu naházet nějaký moduly na loď, ať se nám to vyupgradeuje a kouknu na to pilotování. Nicméně, my budeme pokračovat až v další epizodě. Já doufám, že se vám tato epizoda líbila. Pokud ano, budu moc rád, když nahodíte like, případně odběr, jestli nemáte. No a my se uvidíme u pokračování. Takže jo, díky moc a čus!